Well, Mike, I had you pegged for a con man, but I didn't know you were that good. I had no idea you and Sonny were related.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment. You know, I think Sonny's taking this grudge thing too far.
Grudge? Look, I tell you what, I'm gonna play bartender, and you know what that means. That means I pour the drinks, and you fill me in. With the truth this time.
All right, but first things first. This squares this on the speakers. Sonny's mother was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. Her family had fled from Havana, and they landed in New York City. And by that time, I guess we'd both been through our own personal versions of hell. I'd just gotten back from Nam.
When was that?
Early, before it was news. I pulled a full tour and was back in Brooklyn by 64. I met Adela at a dance. We were both still kids, but there I was in my uniform, and I guess it made her feel safe. So we got married real fast, and the baby came 10 months later.
Sonny.
Yeah, the only kid I got, as far as I know. And I was still wet behind the ears, and there I was, a family man. I wasn't bad at it either. I had a good job at the naval yards, and, well, Adela just... The gambling is what got to her. She just didn't understand.
Another?
Yeah, well, the booze didn't help either. See, there was this poker club. And the first time I played, I won big. And I really got hooked. And I was always trying to make a killing after that. Anything, just to get us out of that miserable walk-up. I was doing it for her and the kid.
Something tells me she didn't see it that way.
Well, you'd think I was fooling around on her the way she acted. I mean, usually I was out late at the club or just hanging out with my buddies. And then the cutback started at the yard, and I didn't get along with my supervisor, so naturally I was one of the first to go. But I went right out, and I got myself a job driving a rig. I was much happier not having to work for anybody. I pulled these all-nighters to East Podunk and back just to keep food on the table. But every time I came home, it seemed that we were at each other's throats. It was never enough. So finally the point came where I just stopped coming home at all.
How old was Sonny?
I don't know, maybe 4. Yeah. Yeah, it was 4. I caught a lot of grief for missing that birthday. She just didn't get it. And Sonny doesn't either. I'm just not the kind of guy that can stay in one place for long. You know what I mean?
Sometimes.
I was doing both a favor. She was free to marry again, which she did. A cop. That hurt. Because there was never anyone else for me but her. Not in that way. But she got herself a solid guy with a steady gig and a pension plan. Deke Woods. We never liked each other, but he took care of Adela and the kids, so I guess I owed him that.
You never went back?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, I'd show up once in a while and pick up Mike Jr. I guess he was already Sonny by then. And I'd take him to the movies or Coney Island or the zoo. I even got him to a couple of Yankee games. But I didn't stay long. I didn't feel welcome. And besides, I was usually going somewhere else myself.
Yeah, somewhere more important.
Yeah, well, I told you about that. Short order cook, bartender, rigger. I even tried Vegas for a while, but what the hell was the point? They don't even let you count cards anymore.
No, it takes all the fun out of it.
I guess Sonny was 16 or 17. I found myself back in Brooklyn. But he'd already split by then. Maybe it's more like his old man than he likes to think. And Adela, I don't know, something had happened. She got real old real fast. And it upset me. Don't get me wrong, she was still beautiful. But I just couldn't bring myself to see her again.
It's hard when they turn all weak on you.
Anyway, I guess it was 6 or 7 years later, last time I saw Sonny. I was at Belmont. Oh, I had a tip. Lost me a month's wages. And there was Sonny with a couple of real sharp-looking guys. And at first, I don't think he recognized me. He just stared at me like I was some kind of stranger. And that's when he told me about Adela. She had died. And Deke before her. He could see that I was shaken up, so he gave me a C note, which was decent of him. Although the suit he was wearing was probably worth 10 times that. And that was the last time I saw him until now.
Which explains everything, except why you're here.
I was at a funeral in December. A friend of mine from Nam. And I started thinking about how Adela was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. And how Sonny didn't have a mother or Deke anymore. I actually thought that he might need me. I actually thought he might miss having a family.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I never had much of a relationship with my own father, so I guess history repeats itself.
Not always. Not with me and my kid.
You know, Luke, I just wasn't cut out to be a father.
You know, Mike, we could all say that. That's a pretty lousy excuse.
Well, maybe.
Listen, why don't you go on to Ruby's? And just let Sonny chill for a while.
Well, maybe you can put a word in for me.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, it would be great if you could. Oh, just so you know, Luke, I'm not expecting any miracles.
I'm not promising any.